Alright, let me paint you guys a picture. Say you're on Facebook Marketplace, you're shopping for a Dean ML, or a Washburn, I don't judge, but you're looking for a Dimebag guitar, right? And you go look around and you see that even the Dean MLXs, the bolt-on cheap Chinese off-brand ones, you see that even those are now like 250, people want 200, 250 for them. And then the actual dime guitars, like the Dime of Flame, Dime Bolt, all that stuff, it's well over 1,000 on Reverb. It's gotten absolutely ridiculous. But if you're like me and you were shopping for one and you want something, that's still good but not quite that expensive, we have the Firefly FFVX. I bought mine in green. They had a couple other colors, and they release other colors every time they drop a new one. But I figured there aren't very many videos on YouTube demoing and reviewing this guitar and talking about what other people have said. So I'm going to piggyback off a couple of the points that both Taylor Danley made in his video about the slightly older model of this guitar. And then I'm going to piggyback a little bit off of what Guitar Max said in his video. I think he has the same model as this one, except in the purple, like flat satin finish. Anyways, let's just talk about the guitar itself for a minute. This is a mahogany neck, mahogany body set guitar. It comes with a licensed Floyd Rose and some knockoff Dimebucker style pickups. It's got the speed knobs, standard input jack like you'd find on an ML, fairly typical three-way selector. Nothing really crazy going on. It does have stainless steel frets, which for the price of $306 dropped off at my door is incredible. The fret job is amazing. There's no high frets. There's no catching. Everything feels really good. In Taylor Danley's video, he did say he had an issue with the high string getting caught. I can't even make that happen if I drag the string over here. So it seems like that issue got worked out. In Taylor's video, he also did comment on the silly diamond style volute, which is not present here on this newer model. As you can see, it's a fairly typical like older Schecter or LTD style kind of volute. It's very similar to like my EC1000. As far as the neck profile goes, I know in Taylor's video he also did say that it was sort of a V profile and it was really thick. I don't think this one is super thick. I think it feels more like any of the nicer Epiphones that I've played in recent memory. It's definitely very similar to that. One thing Guitar Max pointed out that I wanted to piggyback on that he is completely correct about, should be, he got the same model pretty much. But the abalone inlays, they're not standard. They're not like a layer of abalone on the top. They're actually on the bottom and then filled in with epoxy over the top. You can't really see it, but it gives them like a weird 3D, like sunk into the fretboard effect. You don't notice it from like a foot away, but it is definitely something to think about if that would bug you in any way, shape, or form. Outside of that, everything is great. The tuners, super good. They feel a lot like Grovers, like the kind that come on like import Schecters and whatnot. Very smooth, very good. This is stock everything. I even have the strings that came on it. All I did when I got it out of the box was I tuned it up to drop D and I sent it pretty much. All the hardware is really good, like all the threading on the locking nut and on the fine tuners and stuff. All that's super good. Whammy bar stays in place really well, and this is the one that shipped with it. One thing I did notice that's a little weird, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but there's like where the nut meets the body right here, you can feel it on both sides. Like the neck is a little wider than the nut and it looks a little funny. I don't know if you can see any of that, but that's about the only like thing I noticed that could be considered a con. The finish is great. I know Taylor Danley said in his video that the one he got, it was a graphic on top of it, not actual flame maple. I can't see the pixelation in this one, so I can't confirm or deny that it's a graphic, but it looks pretty good. There's no figuring or anything cool happening with it, but to my eye, it looks like a flame maple top. It's very good quality. But yeah, if you're in a situation like me where you want a cool Dean ML shaped guitar and you don't want to pay the ridiculous prices of $1,000 brand new Dean ML, or you don't want to go take your chances on the used market or get an import that doesn't feel up to your standards, I definitely recommend one of these. Like 15 out of 10. I will, in fact, be buying another one of these. Obviously, uh, this is not sponsored or anything. I've said like, and ah so many times in this video that I'd have a hard time believing you don't think this is my first review too. But yeah, this guitar was just so good when I got it out of the box, and I've been so impressed and playing it a lot that, yeah, 15 out of 10. Definitely go pick one of these up. You can buy one on guitarsgarden.com. That seems to be Firefly's distribution platform. They pop up randomly, so you kind of got to keep checking the site, and they sell out in like 2 or 3 days, especially the cooler colors. So yeah, if you want an ML style guitar, pick one of these up. I can't recommend them enough, honestly. And like I said, I'll be looking at their page myself to try and pick up some other colors or see what else they do with it. About the only con, the one thing that should be noted that could be considered a con, the springs in the Floyd are really, really stiff. I'm sure it needs to be broken in. These are the springs that came in it, so I'm sure they're not like amazing quality or anything, and that could be fixed. But just something to note. Um, Anyways, I will leave you guys with a small playing demo. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did end up buying a Firefly guitar or finding out something new from this video, feel free to leave me a comment. Tell me how I did. I know it sounds like I'm reading you an 8th grade book report, but this was just such a good guitar that not a lot of people have done a lot on, so I wanted to get it out there. Thank you guys. Peace out. Alright, so we're going to get into the playing demo here of the Firefly FFVX. I am running it into my Audiobox 22 VSL, just going right into Amphub, which has a tube screamer and an SD1 going into their Mesa Boogie dual rec clone, and then into the Coffee Audio IRs or cabinets that they just recently added. And then I am also using a drum track that I paid for on Bandcamp just to add some flavor, as well as 2 guitar tracks, one pan left, one pan right. Anyways, yeah, let's get into this.